Good morning. I want to start with a moment of personal reflection. Think back to when you were in college or perhaps your first job. Do you remember how much you learned in those first few years? It was a dizzying, exciting flood of information. Now fast forward, many of us reach a point maybe in our late 20s, maybe our 30s, where the learning curve flattens out. We've achieved professional competence. We know the rules, we know the industry, and we know our job. We stop asking why and start saying, because that's how we do it. We build what I call the wall of certainty. It's comfortable, it's efficient, but every brick we lay against doubt, against difference, against the unknown, is a brick laid against our own growth. In 2025, in a world where technology and culture change faster than ever before, the greatest risk to your life, your career, your relationships, your spirit, is not failure, but stagnation. Our topic today is about tearing down that wall. It is never stop learning, cultivate curiosity for a richer life. Over the next 50 minutes, we won't just talk about learning. We will explore what a richer life truly means, why curiosity is the ultimate human advantage, and how to build practical systems to keep your mind hungry every single day. What exactly is curiosity? It's often used interchangeably with interest, but it's much deeper. The best definition comes from psychologist George Loewenstein, who described it as the information gap. Curiosity is the uncomfortable feeling we get when we perceive a gap between what we know and what we want to know. It's an itch, and like any good itch, the only way to scratch it is with a relentless inquiry. This is not a personality trait. It is a primal, evolutionary survival mechanism. To truly cultivate this habit, we must understand the difference between two types of curiosity. The first is diversive curiosity, which I call the skimmer. This is the horizontal search. It's clicking endlessly on Wikipedia, scrolling social media, or flipping channels. It's about novelty and breadth. It's necessary for identifying what is new. The analogy is, it's casting a wide net in shallow water. The second is epistemic curiosity, the diver. This is the vertical deep search. It's the commitment to master a specific topic, practice a skill, or drill down to the fundamental principles. This involves effort, frustration, and dedicated time. The analogy is, it's putting on scuba gear and diving deep into a single, rich reef. The shift to a richer life begins when we consciously choose to convert diversive curiosity into epistemic curiosity. Stop just skimming the headline. Dive into the methodology. Stop just collecting trivia. Dedicate time to understanding the underlying mechanism. Let's talk frankly about the world we live in now. The greatest threat to your career is no longer the competition down the street. It is the acceleration of knowledge. In 2025, artificial intelligence, automation, and hyper-connectivity are no longer futuristic concepts. They are integrated operational tools. This is not a time to be afraid of machines. It is a time to leverage our uniquely human advantages. When AI can process data faster, organize logistics better, and manage efficiency more accurately than any human, where does our value lie? Our value lies in synthesis and creative judgment. AI can optimize the known solution. Humans must discover the unknown problem. AI can calculate the trajectory of existing data. Humans must imagine the new direction. The job market of 2025 doesn't reward what you know as much as it rewards how fast you can learn something new. Your greatest competitive edge is your adaptability quotient AC, and curiosity is the fuel for that AQ. We often define a rich life by money, but what if it's defined by complexity, resilience, and personal expansion? A life rich in curiosity is rich in resilience. You have a portfolio of skills to rely on when one market crashes. Empathy. You actively seek out perspectives vastly different from your own, making you a better teammate, leader, and partner. Engagement. Your brain is active, constantly forging new neural pathways, giving you a greater sense of vitality. Learning is the highest form of self-investment, and unlike any other asset, it can never be taken away from you. Curiosity doesn't just happen. It requires discipline. Here are 4 practical, daily pillars for cultivating a mind that never stops growing. Pillar 1. The practice of the beginner's mind Shoshin. When was the last time you were truly bad at something? That feeling of clumsy incompetence, the frustrating struggle of the first few steps. Most adults avoid that feeling at all costs. But that discomfort is the signal of growth. The actionable step is to schedule a beginner's hour every week. Learn a foreign language, try a musical instrument, take a coding tutorial, or start drawing. The goal is not mastery. The goal is to feel the sensation of learning something from scratch again. This practice rewires your brain to associate discomfort with opportunity, not threat. Think of the senior executive who took up oil painting not to be good at it, but just to force themselves into a non-linear, non-analytical mindset. Pillar 2. The power of the unrelated field. The biggest breakthroughs rarely happen in a field. They happen between fields. Great innovations come from connecting 2 things that were never meant to be together. Look at the Steve Jobs example. He famously took a calligraphy class in college that had no practical application at the time. Years later, it was that knowledge of beautiful typography that defined the aesthetic of the Macintosh computer. He connected art calligraphy to engineering computers. The actionable step is to deliberately read outside your professional lane. If you're in marketing, read a book on deep sea ecology. If you're an engineer, listen to a podcast on Baroque music history. Schedule synthesis time to explicitly brainstorm how concepts from one unrelated field might solve a complex problem in yours. Pillar 3. The discipline of reflective failure. We all fail, but only the curious learn. Failure is the greatest teacher, but only if you take the time to read the lesson plan. The uncurious person asks, who is to blame for this failure? The curious person asks, what does this failure allow me to discover that success would have hidden? The actionable step is to institute a failure journal. When something goes wrong, don't just move on. Dedicate 15 minutes to writing down 3 things. 1. The assumption that was proven wrong. 2. The principle you confirmed. 3. The new question this failure raises. This turns a setback into a data point, converting painful experience into valuable, actionable knowledge. Pillar 4. The art of asking better questions. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions. Most of us ask binary, dead-end questions. Is this good? Should we do this? We need to shift to generative, open-ended questions that launch an inquiry instead of, did the launch fail? Ask, how might we restructure our next launch to be completely immune to the problems we just experienced? The ancient tool of the 5 whys is still one of the most powerful curiosity tools. When you get an answer, don't stop. Ask why. To that answer, do this 5 times, and you will drill down from a symptom to the ultimate root cause or principle. Curiosity is not a fleeting moment of interest. It is a stance toward the world. It's the decision that you are not a finished product, but a perpetual work in progress. Think about the alternative. The person who thinks they know it all, they become brittle, they become obsolete. They become isolated, trapped within their own wall of certainty. The truly rich life is not found in the accumulation of answers, but in the accumulation of powerful questions. I have one assignment for you, and I want you to